The ghostly Librarian's Secret. In the heart of Eldridge Library, where the scent of aged parchment mingled with the whispers of forgotten tales, Nina had always felt a peculiar connection to the books that line the towering shelves. As a dedicated librarian and a kind-hearted healer, she often spent her evenings cataloging new arrivals and tending to the library's small herb garden, which thrived in a sunny corner. It was during one such evening, when the moonlight streamed through the stained glass windows like liquid silver, that she stumbled upon an old, ornate door hidden behind a row of ancient encyclopedias. Curiosity ignited within her, and she pushed the door open, revealing a narrow passageway cloaked in shadows. Dust motes danced in the air as she ventured deeper into the unknown. The passage led to a small chamber filled with cobwebs and relics of a bygone era. In the center of the room sat a pedestal, upon which rested a book bound in cracked leather, its pages yellowed and inscribed in an unfamiliar language. As Nina approached, she felt an inexplicable pull toward the book. When she opened it, a blinding light enveloped her, and she was sucked into its pages. Nina found herself standing in a vibrant forest, sunlight filtering through lush canopies overhead. Before her stood three figures: Isla, the fierce warrior princess; Gideon, the stoic guardian; and Sebastian, who was surprisingly charming rather than sinister. "Who are you?" Isla demanded, her hand resting on the hilt of her sword. "I'm Nina," she stammered, still reeling from her sudden arrival. "I came from the library," Gideon exclaimed with a grin. "I knew it. I've always wanted to meet someone who spends more time with books than people." Nina raised an eyebrow. "And you think that's something to brag about?" Gideon chuckled. "Well, it beats talking to rocks all day." Nina's heart raced as she realized that she had been drawn into an epic tale filled with danger and adventure, and perhaps some unexpected camaraderie. Gideon explained that they needed to find 3 sacred artifacts scattered throughout their realm to stop an ancient evil that threatened their world: the Heartstone of Healing, the Blade of Courage, and the Shield of Wisdom. Each artifact was protected by formidable challenges that would test their resolve. Before they could embark on their main quest, Nina learned of a nearby location known as the Whispering Grove. It was said to house ancient spirits that could provide guidance, but only if they were appeased with offerings from nature. The group set off toward the grove, where they encountered mischievous sprites who played tricks on travelers. To gain their favor, Nina used her healing abilities to mend a wounded sprite's wing. Grateful for her kindness, and perhaps intrigued by her gentle spirit, the sprites revealed secrets about each artifact's location. "Just don't ask them for directions," Gideon quipped as one sprite led them in circles for 10 minutes before bursting into laughter. "Hey, I found it funny," Nina shot back with a smirk. Their next destination was a treacherous mountain range where they sought the Blade of Courage. However, before they could claim it, they had to face 3 trials designed to test their bravery, overcoming their greatest fears. Isla faced her fear of failure when confronted by illusions of past battles lost. With Nina's encouragement and Gideon's steadfast presence, who whispered ridiculous motivational quotes like, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," or "just really sore," she overcame her doubts and emerged victorious. Gideon confronted his fear of losing those he cared about when faced with visions of his friends falling in battle. Through Nina's soothing words and Isla's unwavering support, along with some playful banter about how he'd look great in armor even if he were just a pile of rubble, he found strength in their bond. Finally, it was Nina's turn. She faced visions of being alone and powerless in a world filled with suffering. Drawing on her healing abilities and memories of helping others back in her library days, along with Gideon's gentle teasing about how she'd make an excellent librarian for dragons, she realized that even one person could make a difference. With their courage proven, and perhaps some newfound feelings blossoming between Nina and Gideon, they claimed the Blade of Courage from its resting place, a magnificent sword imbued with light. Next, they journeyed to find the Heartstone of Healing hidden deep within an enchanted cave guarded by a fierce guardian, a colossal serpent made of shimmering crystal. To gain entry into its lair, they had to solve riddles posed by the serpent that tested their knowledge of nature and healing arts. Nina excelled here. Her extensive knowledge from years spent among books allowed her to answer correctly, while throwing in some humorous quips about how the only thing more dangerous than this serpent is my cooking. Inside the cave, they found not only the Heartstone but also ancient scrolls detailing forgotten healing techniques that Nina eagerly collected for future use, and perhaps to impress Gideon later. Their final challenge took them to an ancient library hidden beneath ruins overgrown with vines, an echo of Nina's own world. Here lay the shield of wisdom guarded by spectral librarians who demanded respect for knowledge and learning. To prove themselves worthy, each member had to share a piece of wisdom or knowledge they held dear. Isla spoke about courage not just in battle but in vulnerability. Gideon shared tales of loyalty. Even Sebastian revealed insights about understanding one's enemies, a surprising depth from someone who seemed so carefree. Nina shared her love for stories, the power they held to heal hearts and minds, and how each book contained worlds waiting to be explored. Impressed by their respect for knowledge, the spectral librarians granted them access to the Shield of Wisdom. With all three artifacts in hand, each representing healing, courage, and wisdom, the group approached Sebastian's fortress, a dark castle looming ominously against the horizon. "Welcome back," Sebastian sneered as he rose from his throne adorned with dark gemstones, but then added with unexpected charm, "I must admit I'm impressed you made it this far." With Isla's strength, Gideon's unwavering resolve, and occasional eye-rolling at Sebastian's attempts at villainy, and Nina's healing touch by her side, they stood tall. "We won't let you destroy this world," Nina declared. A fierce battle ensued as magic clashed against darkness. Just when it seemed they might falter, Nina remembered the power of healing, the very essence that had brought her here. She recited an incantation from one of the ancient texts she had studied in her library days while juggling artifacts like an overzealous street performer. A brilliant light erupted from her hands as she combined all three artifacts' powers. The Heartstone healed allies' wounds, the blade struck true against darkness, and the shield protected them from harm. In that moment of vulnerability for Sebastian, who looked rather dashing despite being evil, Isla struck true with her sword while Gideon raised his shield to protect them all from his final desperate attack. With Sebastian defeated, or so they thought, and balance restored to their realm, Nina felt a gentle tug at her consciousness, a reminder that she belonged back in her world. As she bid farewell to her newfound friends, who were forever changed by their journey together, they expressed their gratitude for her bravery. "You have shown us that even those from distant lands can change our fate," Isla said warmly before adding playfully, "and if you ever decide to run away from your library duties again, I expect you'll bring me back some dragon tales." In an instant, Nina was back in Eldridge Library, standing before the dusty book that had transported her to another world. Heart racing with excitement, and perhaps something more, she closed it gently. But as she turned away from it, she noticed something glimmering on its cover, a sigil pulsing faintly with energy. A chill ran down her spine as she realized it resembled Sebastian's insignia. From that day forward, Nina became more than just a librarian. She was now its guardian, a keeper of stories not only from her world but also from realms beyond imagination, and perhaps even more adventures lay ahead. As she resumed her duties among shelves filled with tales waiting to be told, each book now holding secrets waiting for discovery, she knew adventure was never far away. All it took was a little curiosity and perhaps another hidden passageway waiting to be discovered, along with an enigmatic villain who might not be finished yet.